Welcome to another movie plot and enjoy the memories. It begins with the movie's narrator floating face down in the river explaining how this happened. In an unnamed city that could possibly be Gotham or simply Cityside, the timid graphic designer Patience can't stand up for herself and works for a cosmetic company named after the owner George Hedare. He's abusive to everyone including his own wife, but don't feel too bad for the retired supermodel Laurel, who's just as ruthless. The face of their product lines, Laurel, has agreed to be replaced in their marketing by a younger model, but she isn't happy about it. It's for a new facial cream which Laurel has secretly been using for years and gives her the ability to tank hits from her husband. Patience is summoned to her boss's office as she designed the adverts for the new line, but George isn't happy about the colors or something. The talented artist did everything he ordered, but he still demands that she redesign it, blaming her for his own mistakes. That night, Patience is unable to sleep because she lives in a crappy neighborhood and the partying going on across the street never stops. She sees an Egyptian Mal looking at her from the street, and the next morning, while working towards her deadline, the cat appears at her window. When she thinks it's stuck, Patience climbs out onto the ledge to save it, but Detective Tom mistakes her intention for jumping. He rushes upstairs and pulls her back in, where she explains that she was only trying to save the cat, but that doesn't make her look any less crazy. Patience realizes she's late for work and rushes out the front door, but drops her wallet in passing, so he returns it to her later. Her co-worker Sally convinces Patience to accept Tom's invitation for a date tomorrow before spending all night fixing her boss's mistakes. When she goes to the production factory before midnight to deliver her finished artwork, she just wanders straight past the overpaid Armando. Entering the restricted area, she accidentally overhears Dr. Ivan talking about the side effects of prolonged use of their new beauty line. Laurel still intends to bring it to market, so when she hears someone watching them, she sends Wesley to silence her. Armando finally decides to do his job, but unlike Wesley, who almost lures out the witness with just his words, the thick-headed guard just opens fire, causing her to run away and making all this a whole lot more difficult. They chase Patience into a waste treatment pipe where she gets stuck at a dead end, so Wesley gets ordered to activate the system. It flushes her into the river, where she drowns in front of the mysterious cat, who summons all of his furry friends to come watch. The messenger of the Egyptian goddess Bast, who has been waiting for Patience to die for several days, brings her back to life. It infuses her with the cat's personality and superhuman abilities that she uses to leap up the fire escape after walking home. She punches through her window and wakes up the next morning in the rafters, wondering how the hell she even got there. Missing her date with Tom, to find answers, she brings the cat to its owner Ophelia, who says that Midnight has never brought home somebody before. She explains that the Egyptian Mao is a rare temple breed and messenger for the goddess when noticing that the guest is acting strange. Unsure of what she was even hoping to learn, Patience leaves when Ophelia tosses her a ball of catnip, which has her rubbing it all over her face. When Patience returns to work, George yells at her for not delivering the project last night, but dude, your men killed her. Patience apologizes, but the new persona takes over and tells George that she's sorry for ever wasting her time working here. Despite trying to retract the statement immediately, she gets fired but achieves legendary status with her colleagues. Patience packs up her things and walks home with Sally when two dogs begin barking at her, so she instinctively hisses at them. She explains the outburst away as allergies when suddenly an expensive necklace in a jewelry store catches her eye. Sally reminds her that she has no income when all of a sudden has a stroke and needs to be admitted into the hospital for examination. Afterwards, Patience apologizes to Tom for missing their date while he's at an inner-city school giving a speech to keep kids off smack. They flirt over a game of basketball, which turns into quite the awkward moment for these students as Patience does all this in front of them. She leaps over Tom and should have dunked it in his face, but I guess this scene is enough to make this a love story anyway. Telling Sally when she gets home about getting another date is just a way to show the audience how freely she moves around with her new cat-like balance. Meanwhile, Laurel's having a hard time coping with being replaced, and it doesn't help that her husband's fooling around with the new girl. That night, when her neighbors start their usual partying, Patience goes over to the apartment and kicks down the door. She destroys the speakers with beer and displays a decent level of athleticism in telling the owner to be quiet, but I'm still surprised nobody attacks her. Patience returns home in the Catwoman state of mind and digs up a leather outfit she once received as a gift from Sally. She cuts off all of her hair, changes her style completely, and steals somebody's bike to go out into the city with an outfit that was made for the bedroom. Returning to the jewelry store presumably to steal the necklace, it's already in the process of being burgled, so she confronts the two robbers. Patience is now faster than bullets and apparently the human eye, as this scene serves to show just how insane her abilities have become. She wall runs faster than any Catwoman before her and surfboards one goon into a wall before spin kicking the other. Catwoman then takes all of the valuables she can carry, and in the morning Patience returns them minus the necklace because it looks pretty. Detective Tom's on the case and immediately solves it because the one word that he's seen of Patience's handwriting matches the anonymous returner. Or at least he would have if Poindexter didn't say they were two completely different people, with one being shy and insecure while the other confident and angry. Trying to find an explanation for her abilities, Patience notices that all of the historical photos of witches have Egyptian mouths. She returns to Ophelia, who says the "I was expecting you" line before explaining away most of the supernatural events. Bast's messengers only give a few deserving women powers when they die, and luckily Patience has them because Ophelia pushes her off the balcony. She lands on her feet, of course, and is told that she has now joined the ranks of a long line of Catwomen, including 1992's Selina Kyle. With a new mask and taking a pair of scissors to her old outfit, Patience goes out as Catwoman searching for the man who killed her. There's 10 minutes straight of her just roaming the city with her toeless shoes until coming across Armando and recognizing his stupid face. He's just murdered Dr. Ivan off screen to keep their secret, but it makes no sense why Catwoman doesn't just attack him now. It's simply so that she can follow him into a bar and give us a scene where she licks off a milk mustache because that was necessary. She then makes herself known to the whole club by dancing around with her whip, which is best explained by Patience wanting to have fun after a lifetime of conceding. Now back to the interrogation. Catwoman throws Armando outside to question him, but he won't go down without a fight. I don't know why this move defeats him, but it does, and Patience learns that the goon has no idea why he was even ordered to kill her. Delivering a dropkick to the face, Patience figures that it was probably a corporate scandal and that she should ask her former employer. Catwoman marches down to headquarters with her whip looking like a tail as she sneaks inside the facility. All of that stealth goes out the window as she walks around cracking her whip and finds Ivan lying dead on the floor. A janitor who probably heard the commotion mistakes Catwoman as the murderer, so she runs away, or rather crawls. The next day, while visiting Sally at the hospital, she learns that she's now a wanted criminal, but her antics won't stop George from poisoning women. We also learn Sally's been having these headaches almost as long as she's been using their moisturizer, so Patience throws it in the trash. She then leaves for a date with Tom, but holds back her abilities until the Ferris wheel breaks down with them on it. Tom climbs down to help sort out the problem, but when some kid falls, Patience saves him, and apparently nobody saw a thing. That night, Catwoman sneaks into George's private residence using her diamond claws from the necklace to cut the glass. She sneaks inside and immediately gets clocked in the back of the head with a club before getting into a fight with Laurel. When realizing that Catwoman just wants to know where George is located, Laurel gives her his hotel address as she's fine with getting her husband killed. Patience finds George on a private balcony watching a dance and lets it be known that she's here to get revenge for her murder, but the police suddenly arrive. Forced to retreat, Catwoman flees behind the stage but runs into Tom, where he attempts to arrest the slippery assailant. They have a fight and the Catwoman continues to flirt with Tom, but he can't tell that this is Patience despite however close they get. She gets away from him when reinforcements arrive and blows the power on the building so that she can escape in darkness. On their next date, Tom talks about his interaction with Catwoman while Patience stuffs her face with sushi. They go back to her place and continue having a good time until Tom finds one of the Catwoman's diamond-studded claws. He takes a cup with her lipstick and cross-references it with the lipstick that Catwoman left on his cheek to confirm that they're the same person. When Patience wakes up, she receives a call from Laurel, who says that she found evidence that'll get her husband locked up. Catwoman returns to her home only to find George has been clawed and shot dead by Laurel, who frames her for the murder. Security arrives, so Patience runs home but finds Detective Tom waiting to arrest her, and despite being able to escape, she lets him bring her in. Once in the interrogation room, Tom says that all of the evidence points to Catwoman as the killer, but Patience asks him to trust her. She's put into a cell where Midnight comes to visit her, and just like he squeezes through the bars, she's able to do the same to escape. Getting into her costume first, Catwoman goes to the production warehouse again and disables all the trucks so that the merchandise can't be delivered. She then goes after Laurel, who's currently promoting the product, and is pulled away from giving out free samples by Tom for questioning. He says that he has evidence to put her away, and when she asks what he wants to make it disappear, she just confirmed her guilt because he had no proof. He just trusted Patience, which gets him shot and almost killed by Laurel, but Catwoman arrives in time to save the injured Tom. Laurel calls in Wesley and Armando to finish them off, but both just take a single hit from Patience and Tom to get removed from the rest of the movie. Catwoman returns for the final showdown, which is pretty much just a one-sided beatdown, but Laurel's unable to feel pain. She takes the hits like they're nothing and just keeps coming back, even stabbing the Catwoman with a piece of glass and causing this sound. Laurel then nearly kills the superhero with just a metal pole and a slow motion of her almost falling from the window. But Catwoman reverses the position and scratches up Laurel's face before knocking her out of the same window. Hanging on for her life, Patience offers her hand, but Laurel slips and plunges to her very anticlimactic death. With that taken care of, Tom suggests that with Catwoman being spotted tonight, it proves that Patience is innocent if she just returns to her cell. Once she's a free woman, she thanks Ophelia for everything that she's done for her and breaks up with Tom because he's a cop and she's a cat burglar. The final scene shows Patience prowling the streets with her little sidekick Midnight as we get some more CGI crawling. And the movie ends.